Hey, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co., and today we're going to be talking about the $1,973 that I will never ever get back. Probably, possibly. I hope I'm wrong about some of these. Every year around this time, around May of each year, I put out a video of my most overdue crowdfunding campaigns, and this is half that video. Today I'll be talking about 3 overdue crowdfunding campaigns that still put out updates that I'm still optimistic about, I still hope will show up, and I actively think will show up. If I were a betting man, I would bet that I'd be getting those 3 games. That's part 1 of this video. Part 2 of this video is going to be the $1,973 that I will probably never see again, although I still hope I'm wrong in 1.5 of these cases. I mean, even more I hope, but let's be realistic over here. These are going to be 6 crowdfunding campaigns that at this point I just don't think are showing up. With that, let's go ahead and dive into this and see how they go. Starting off with number 1, which is going to be Forsaken. Forsaken, this is in the category of games that I still hope to get deliveries on. Forsaken is way overdue at this point. This campaign has been dragging on for way too long. The first project and probably last project by Game Trays. I don't think after this there'd be a lot of confidence in their games as much as there is confidence in their trays, but there are still updates that combined with this trays being a part of the board game space means there's also a reputational aspect to manage over there. I still think Forsaken will show up one day. I might be too optimistic, I don't know, but I still do think that this will show up, and time will tell as far as how Forsaken goes. Number 2 is Megapulse. Megapulse, from a small indie creator raising 60,000 Canadian dollars, 770 backers. If not for the fact that Tangerine Games took over this project, I would not think it would be showing up. It's a reminder that behind every passion project, sometimes is the actual reality of having to deliver, the actual reality of having to make your fans happy, and sometimes doing so with not enough money on the table, which is what happened with Megapulse. One of the better racing games that I have played, but it didn't find that huge audience, and that meant it was a struggle instead of a smashing success. Tangerine Games being involved makes me think maybe, or probably, this will show up. And then thirdly, there's Velocity Vanguard. Velocity Vanguard was excellent, an incredibly ambitious game that I've never seen a game quite like it as far as the movement system that they brought to the table. That was incredible. It was so unique, it was so trippy as far as both solo, cooperative, competitive play, so many ways to engage with the game, all relying around this incredible, unique movement system that really drove the experience. My one hesitancy was always the table size. That's always a concern that I expressed around this one, but that's not an issue if the game never delivers. That said, 5 years into the project at this point, I think it's 5 years into the project, they are still posting updates. They're still posting updates. Well, the last update was a while ago, but they posted a comment like 7 days ago saying, hey, you know, we're still moving along, inching along, things are happening, so hopefully it'll show up one day, and hopefully it will show up one day. I do want to see Velocity Vanguard. I think it's an incredibly unique game. Unfortunately, even when it delivers, I don't know what happens next, because again, when you're 5 years behind, that doesn't inspire confidence for your next project. So for those backers and myself, I hope it shows up, but we will see what happens. Those are the 3 campaigns that are overdue, but possibly still showing up. By the way, as far as how this video series goes, this is normally a yearly series where I go ahead and talk about the outstanding campaigns. I don't know what's going to happen because going forward, will we talk about outstanding crowdfunding campaigns in the future, a year from now, if they're just these 3 at this point? I mean, sure, there could be new delays, but I am pickier about what I back at this point. Those long tail games that made up this series have less and less been common in my backing history. That said, there always and unfortunately are new failures, so we'll see what happens next year this time. But with that, a note to our channel sponsor. Allplay is a channel sponsor, and Allplay does a lot of things well. They do board game tables, they do board game bags, they do board games themselves, and they also run crowdfunding campaigns that don't drag on like this. That they have never not delivered a crowdfunding campaign in dozens and dozens of crowdfunding campaigns so far. Usually not the way I shout out channel sponsors by saying, hey, they haven't failed yet. But in this case, given today's video, that feels like a relevant tie-in. Allplay. They haven't failed yet, back with confidence, or at least the confidence that their current track record has established. With that, let's go ahead and dive into the 6 crowdfunding campaigns that make up that $1,973. Although 2 notes that I want to include. First, a note about what's in here. I'm not including the CMON campaigns. The reason for that is because there are a bunch of CMON outstanding campaigns, of which I have to double check. I think I backed 4 or 5 of them. I backed DC United, I backed Deceased, I backed Mordred, I backed God of War, I backed Massive Darkness, so maybe 5 of their campaigns I backed. The only reason they're not in there is I just recently did a video on my most outstanding CMON campaigns, the 10 outstanding CMON campaigns, and me ranking them. Granted, I probably should have grabbed the totals, so I could put the totals in this video. That would have made sense. But when it comes to those campaigns, I don't know what the future holds for the CMON campaigns. It's less interesting to talk with them, given that I just did so in another video. So if you want to see me talk about those, check out my video ranking my outstanding 10 outstanding CMON campaigns. But again, they are definitely included in this who's to say whether they'll show up. I am not super optimistic, not super Debbie Downer. I'm kind of in the middle as far as whether they'll ever show up. On that note, I should note that between Kickstarter and GameFound, I've backed over 350 projects to date. Something like 375 projects across the past 6 years or so, maybe 7 years, whatever it's been. But it's a lot of projects. Even though I am talking about nearly $2,000 that I have lost, more including the CMON campaigns. If those don't deliver, it might be closer to $3.5K all told, which is a lot of money. And it absolutely sucks to back something and never get it. It is still worth noting that tabletop crowdfunding is relatively reliable. That's 6 projects out of 375 or so. We'll see what the future holds with the rest of these CMON ones, and whether these 6 projects, I still hope 1.5 or maybe even 2 of them deliver. I don't know what the future holds. I guess the point is crowdfunding's a risk, and some of it sucks, but, you know, it's not all gloom and doom. Doom and gloom. Gloom and doom. Gloom and doom. I think it's gloom and doom. Anyways, with that, let's go ahead and dive into these 6 projects, starting off with Lasting Tales, a fantasy miniatures game. I actually got the first fantasy miniatures game from Blacklist Games, but Lasting Tales never delivered. This one never showed up, so that's $75 or so down the drain. $94, including, I looked at my pledge manager for this, $94, including the pledge level, shipping, all the things included. I lost out on $94 on Lasting Tales. I shouldn't have backed this anyway. Fun fact, this is actually part of a series of videos that I did of crowdfunding campaigns that I regret backing because I probably shouldn't have backed it at the time. Nothing to do with not delivering, but I shouldn't have backed at the time. I don't do miniatures on their own. Rallyman Dirt. I spent $126 to go all in on this game, and I don't mind the fact that I don't have it. I do mind losing $126 because I've since played the final game, and it's okay. I don't particularly care for it that much. It's a fine game, nothing wrong with it, but it doesn't really compel me in the way I was hoping to when I backed it. So I want my money back, and I'd rather have the deluxe game, but from a pure gameplay perspective, I am fine without it. Coming in at number 4, we have Hell the Last Saga, paying $246 to go all in on this campaign from Mythic Games that CMON then took over before going belly up. Or not really belly up, before going uncertain side up. And I do want Hell the Last Saga, but I also don't have any confidence in the project between Mythic never really doing anything with it, between CMON taking it over. I don't have confidence this is going to be the narrative game that I needed it to be, that I wanted it to be. I backed it because, hey, this is I was going through a phase at the time of wanting any kind of miniature epic experience, and this fell into that category. But with the hands it's been through at this point, I'm just not confident that there's a product that I actually will care about at the end of this. So again, I want my money back, but as far as the game delivering, I'm less concerned with that from Hell the Last Saga. Coming out through number 3, we have Anastyr. Anastyr, what's it called? What's the word, the full title? There's a full title, just not Anastyr. There's a title. Anastyr, whatever it is. Anastyr from Mythic Games, which has been taken over. So this one's in a bit of a halfway point because it's actually taken over by a new publisher, so I still hope to see that in some capacity. But the original Anastyr, I spent $400 on this one, and this is one that I don't imagine I will ever see that $400. You might see a core pledge. It's kind of like the weird aspect where CMON took it over. Did CMON take it over? I can't remember if CMON took it over before the other new company took it over. But again, it's one that hopefully some version of this game will see the light of day. I have played the prototype multiple times at this point, and I do think it's a very solid kind of side-scrolling, zombicide adjacent game system. I like the miniatures, I like the gameplay. Overall, it's a good game that I would love to see, but I don't know if we'll see it and in what capacity. The all-ins feel crazy. The scope of this game was insane. What it actually is going to be, no idea. I don't think games like this just did not raise enough for what it needed to be, given where Mythic was, for this to actually work out. I still want it to exist because it's a good game. Ultimately, it's a good game. $400 gone. Stormsunder. Stormsunder Heirs of Ruin. I still do want this to show up. Oh my gosh, I forgot to include Wild Ascent. I forgot to include Wild Ascent in this one. The new Wild Ascent. That's, add another one to the list over there. But Stormsunder Heirs of Ruin, from Lazy Squire Games. $835 spent on the all-in of this game. Sun dropped, all-in, shaded. Every single little thing you can do for this game, I did. I was so excited for this. I love Wild Ascent, and I am all in for Stormsunder. Unfortunately, it's just, you know, an update every month and a half away that every few months some update shows up to remind us that this exists. I believe the creator still has hope for this game. I have talked to the creator. I believe there's still hope that he plans on delivering these things one day between Stormsunder and between Wild Ascent. What actually will happen, I do not know, unfortunately. The original Wild Ascent was way delayed, and then it finally showed up, reassuring my faith in humanity. This one, at this point, if it shows up, great, amazing. I want the game. I do want Stormsunder. I do want the other Wild Ascent, Levon Rising. I want it. It was a great game. Both of them were great games. But I don't know what will happen. I don't know what will happen with this one. At this point, it goes into the lost category. $835 gone. The price of a PS5, a Pro, and then some, gone. Crowdfunding is not without its risks. This is one of the earlier videos I did on the channel. I was very excited. Everything about this pulled me in. I am very sad that this might not show up. This and... It's rough out there, man. It's rough. It's rough. That's what I say. It's rough. And then lastly, $272 for Quodd Heroes 2nd Edition. By far the game I most want to see. I loved Quodd Heroes. I was so excited for the 2nd Edition. The solo play would add, the way it was a better version of the game. It was a better version of the original Quodd Heroes. And then unfortunately, this became vaporware. The creator basically saying, hey, for the sake of my mental health, I'm just kind of done with the project right now, which was an insane thing to say. I appreciate the honesty, but it's an insane thing to say to all your backers. 2,006 backers spending $284,000 Canadian on this project, only to find out that nothing ever was going to be made. This is never going to exist, and I wish I would happily pay. If you offered me right now paying $500 to get my hands on all into this game, I would happily pay it in a heartbeat to get it. I love this game, and it's such a good system. I probably shouldn't. Maybe that's why I am where I am right now, but I probably shouldn't. But I would kill to get my hands on a proper Quodd Heroes 2nd Edition. I wouldn't actually kill. That's bad. Don't do that. I want this game. I am so sad, more so than Stormsunder, because Stormsunder is an epic giant campaign game, and by the time I back to versus where I am now, as much as I still want it, you know, am I in a place where I'll actually enjoy the hundreds of hours of content? Probably not. This is intended to be Madara, and I don't have time for those kinds of games, so I still want it, but it wouldn't work for me anyway. Levon Rising, I want Levon Rising, but I've played Wild Descent enough that it's okay. Quodd Heroes is by far the game I want the most from all these games, and I am very, very sad that this will never exist. This is the one that breaks my heart from all my games. Those are mine. Those are my 6 games with asterisk, because all the CMON ones as well, and Levon Rising that I managed to forget about. Those are my games that will probably never see the light of day. That's my $1,973 that I will never get back in most of these cases. And again, I had the CMON ones in there. What are yours? What are your failures? What are the things that have that hurt you the most? Whether it's because of the monetary value or because you just really, really wish that game existed. Let me know in the comments down below so we could all suffer together in silence. And until next time, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co. I hope you enjoyed this video and it wasn't too heartbreaking. And as always, I hope you have a good one.